means, yep, it means that you can have the recording because the YouTube channel's got some extras on. So welcome. Brilliant. And see where we go. If you want to skip the vinyasas, please do. Also, you can take different variations. You can take your knees down or you can just use a child's pose. So let's see where we go. We're going to start in seated. So wherever you're comfy, whether that's on your knees or in Sukhasana, that's fine. Just taking a moment with the breath. Just allowing yourself just to start to focus on an inhale and an exhale. Just taking a moment, saying hello to your mat if you've had a busy day. Just lengthening the spine very gently, just growing a little taller. And as you grow a little taller, just allow the shoulders to relax. Again, just allowing that breath just to rise and fall. And then bringing your awareness back to the room. I'm just going to take a little stretch, a little flow. So we're going to just take the left hand down, right hand up and over in an inhale. And we're going to do that, bringing the right hand down and lifting the left hand up. So we inhale up, exhale down. Inhaling up, exhaling down. Inhaling and exhaling. Just moving with your own breath. Coming back to center. We're going to just cross the arms and just round the spine, take the chin to the chest, really draw the core in. Walk the hands forwards on the mat, just again stretching through the upper back and the sides. Walking the hands behind you, interlace the hands, draw the knuckles gently down, open the chest. Hands come forwards, interlace, push the hands away from you and just gently round the spine. All the way back, interlace the hands behind you, draw the knuckles down. And bring the hands just to the knees. We're going to play with a really simple flow. Did this last night. And it's a very simple sun salutation without all the standing. So we're going to do a few rounds of it. We'll do it slowly to begin with. And then we'll do it with the breath. So it's one breath, one movement, but it's very gentle for everybody. So here we go. We're going to start in downward facing dog. So come up to downward facing dog and allow yourself any movement that you need. So whether that's circling the ankles, whether that's pushing the hips side to side, whether it's bending the knee in, maybe lifting the wrists, and just any movement. And allow yourself to work towards that place where you can come to stillness. So pressing into the hands, bringing the arms towards each other so you can just feel the shoulders engage the core, soften the knees, and then just lift the hips up, push away from the mat and allow weight into the heels. Relax the neck. And we're going to come up and over into plank. So we're going to come onto our tiptoes and inhale all the way over to plank. Excellent, nice long plank. Bring the front body into the back body. And then we're going to exhale, or at the moment we're going slowly, so to child's pose. The knees come down, slide your hands back, and take a little child's pose. This is a flow, so as we then sweep all the way up, we can sweep the hands to the side, lift all the way up into a little camel. Excellent. Hands come all the way down and forwards. Tuck the toes and into cow. So really looking forwards, arching the back. And then we would be exhaling into downward facing dog. Okay, so it's a really nice one to warm up the body, work with the flow, work with the breath, and connect the two. So in downward dog, take a moment. Up to the tiptoes, inhale over to plank. Knees down, exhale to child's pose. Inhale all the way up, sweep the hands, camel variation. Exhale the hands to the heart. Bring the hands forwards, and if the breath doesn't suit, just change it. Inhale to cow. Exhale to downward facing dog. Take a moment here with the breath. Inhale and exhale. And we start again onto the tiptoes, up and over, inhale to plank. Exhale to child's pose. Inhale all the way up on the knees. Exhale, hands to the heart, moving through to tabletop, tucking the toes into cow. And then into downward facing dog. In downward facing dog, we're going to just walk or step to the top of the mat. Taking a moment here in forward fold. So bring your weight over your feet in Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, sweep the hands all the way up, rising all the way up. Sun salutation. All the way, hands to the heart. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, all the way fold. Inhale, flat back. Let's see if we can get some nice length. So you're really thinking about the crown of the head and the base of the spine. So tucking the chin very slightly so you've got that flat back position. And then wherever your hands are comfiest. Now, as we place the hands on the mat, we're going to step to plank. Take a little plank here. Push into the heels. Draw that front body in, so really draw the core in, and then move all the way up to downward facing dog. Now you can step or hop to the front of the mat, totally up to you. We're into this Uttanasana, we're just about to move into a little infinity flow. So take a moment here, and as we rise, we're going to use our left foot as our anchor first. So we're going to lift up with our right foot. We're going to rise up to one-legged mountain, really slowly, all the way up, lifting up. Excellent. And as we lift into this one-legged mountain, whatever you don't want to do with your hands is fine. We're going to go to Virabhadrasana 3. So we're going to push that right foot back. Now it might be the hands come just gently in or they're extended out. It doesn't matter. Now from Warrior 3, we go back up to that one-legged mountain. That's it. Good for the balance. And as we, as we are going to open, we're going to open to wide. So this right foot, we're now going to step to the right hand side into a temple pose. Well done, Jenny. Excellent. So keep that tailbone tucked in and nice deep squat. Feet turned out gently. Excellent. And then bring the hands all the way to the heart. Squat a little deeper if you wish. Excellent. Now we're going to go to Skandasana at the back of the mat. So we're going to take ourselves to the right hand side and draw up into Skandasana. So we're sinking on the foot, lifting the extended hands on the mat if you need. Absolutely fine. Brilliant. Okay. Now, right hand on the mat, open the left wing. We'll do this a couple of times. You're right there. Now I'm going to really confuse you now, but just keep going with this. We're going to turn to face the back of the mat. Bring the left foot behind the right foot. So we're in like a crossed ankle forward fold. Well done. Bring the left foot all the way up into a little half split. Excellent. Step back into a high lunge. Admiring the view at the back of the mat. Turn back to temple, so goddess, so you can open, so you're still on the right hand side of your mat. Bring the hands all the way to the heart. Excellent. Turn to the front of the mat into runner's lunge. Lift that left foot all the way up to tripod. Well done. Bring yourself to downward facing dog. And then gently either step or hop all the way back to the front of the mat into your forward fold. Now you're going to use your right foot as your anchor this time. So we're going to come up to one-legged mountain, lifting the left hand side. Well done. Remember to use your core to really support you. So open the chest. Hands come to wherever you're comfy, work into Virabhadrasana 3. And then draw yourself one-legged mountain back all the way up again. I'm going to wobble. Now we step to the other side into goddess temple pose. Hands to the heart. Skandasana to the back of the mat. So we bend into the left-hand side, extend that right leg and lift the right toes to the ceiling, opening if you wish the right hand, the right wing. Now we're going to come to the back of the mat. The right foot is going to come behind the left foot into a crisscross fold. Right foot's going to come all the way up into a little half split. Step gently the back foot, coming into high lunge. Open to the side again, goddess, hands high prayer. We'll do it a couple of times, all the way hands to the heart. Turn to the front of the mat into runner's lunge. Step into plank, either take a child's pose or take little vinyasa. So knees can come down, hips towards the heels, and scoop chest and chin into Bhujangasana or child's pose. And everyone meeting child's pose now. Really lovely child's pose. Remember, we've got the extended, the wide legs, toes together. That allows us space as well. It allows us space in the hips. It allows us space in the front body. So we're resting. So if we've drawn height into the hips, we bring a little height to the head. So just taking a moment here with the breath, inhaling and exhaling. Push the hands all the way back up. Bring the knees together. Take a moment. If you've got water, feel free to take a sip. So, That was a bit of a random colour choice tonight. I realised it was 6 o'clock and I was like, grabbed stuff. And then I realised I came out with red trainers, burgundy leggings and a purple hoodie. Hey ho. Never mind. And I kid you not, my little car downstairs, I polished my car last weekend, like properly, clean the inside, clean the outside. My son came home yesterday and he said, I went through the roadworks. And I was like, what roadworks? Apparently there were roadworks, Keswick Bridge. Anyway, it literally looks like he has driven through a pile of chalk. So I was like, you can wash that tomorrow. So, hey ho. So any questions just while we're here, just having a moment? Was that okay for you? So you kind of got where we were going. The Virabhadrasana 3, the one little thing I'll give you a little tip. If we locus the body, that means that we kind of like a banana shape up. So in Virabhadrasana 3, if you're just lifting the hands, the chest mainly slightly up, and lifting the heels slightly up, and then the toes are pointing down, pushing through the heel, you'll hold the pose a little easier if the back leg is wanting to come up. But if it's not, hover the back leg a little lower. So it depends on how your hips are feeling, what you've been doing. We'll go through it again, see where we go. And then, yeah, I'll add something in. Right, where did I start? We're going to start at the top of the mat. Let's go to the top of the mat. Brilliant. Let's see if I've got some. Okay, so we're going to just anchor ourselves into Tadasana. So just concentrate on the feet and the support, allowing the shoulders just to gently relax. Remember our core, so we can always gently draw our core in. We don't hold the core in, but just allow just a bit of support. So we're going to anchor the right foot. We're going to lift all the way, one-legged mountain. Look, I'm wobbling all over the place today, so I've been sat too long. Then we're going to draw ourselves to Warrior 3. So again, you can just lift that back foot up if you are extending the pose. Back to that one-legged mountain. And then we're going to take that temple pose out to the side, gently dropping into Goddess, keeping the tailbone tucked under us. So it's not like a squat because our toes are turned out. So we kind of try and keep that tailbone neutral. So keep the weight over the heels. Hands all the way to the heart. And we're going to come to the back of the mat. Now, if Skandasana doesn't suit, you can keep this high by just lifting the toes. Okay? Or you can come all the way down to Skandasana. It's totally up to you. It just gives you an option. And then either keeping the hands to prayer or open. We can still turn to the back of the mat, taking that right foot behind us in a crisscross fold. Good one if you've been running. Anchoring the left foot, lift the right to a standing split. Draw the body towards the leg if you want to just increase the stretch. If you don't, then keep it easy, soften the knee. And then we're going to come to high lunge. Gently drop the back foot down before you rise the hands up, straightening the back leg, push through the heel, lifting up to high lunge, crescent moon. As we turn to the side of the mat, hands come together. Softening to the heart. Turning towards the front of the mat to runner's lunge. Take a little vinyasa or a child's pose if you wish. Meeting in downward facing dog. Stepping or hopping to the front of the mat. As we rise up, anchoring now the right foot. Is that right? No. Yes, left. That's it. into one-legged mountain. All the way to Virabhadrasana 3. Back to one-legged mountain. Bringing the hands gently together, we gently step all the way to temple. Hands gently to the heart. Now you can either just open that left foot and take yourself a kind of a side lunge, or you can come down to the mat into Skandasana, totally up to you, opening the arm. Turning to the back of the mat, stepping the left foot behind, crisscross fold, drawing the left foot all the way up, maybe bringing the body towards the leg. Back foot is going to come gently to the mat, maybe slightly out to the side to give yourself space and a balance, bringing yourself up to high lunge. Opening back to the side, goddess, with temple hands, drawing them to the heart. Turn to the front of the mat, runner's lunge. Step to plank. Now you can come to child's pose if you wish and skip the vinyasa, or you can play. So if you want to play with the vinyasa, you're kind of diving down in chaturanga, or knees can come down. So meeting in downward facing dog. Taking a moment in downward facing dog. We're now going to step to the front of the mat into Malasana. You can hop to this as well if you wish, into little Malasana, which is like a little goddess, a little froggy squat. Okay, heels might not be on the ground, that doesn't matter, it's absolutely fine. Hands might be on the floor. This is really good for everybody. Hips, squatting, all of that. We can eat our dinner like that. We go to Ingrid's pub and eat our dinner squatting. Look a bit old, isn't it? Now, hands are going to come to balance you on the mat. What we're going to do, we're going to take our right foot and we're going to take it over to the left corner. Means we sit down. Okay, all I've done. Left hand's going to come behind you. Right hand is going to lift up as if a piece of string is lifting you, and just open and bring. That's it. Excellent. All the way back down. Hands are going to come forward. We're going to tuck that foot under, and we're going to come all the way back to a little standing split. Oh, brilliant. Sweep to high lunge all the way up. Excellent. I've got to throw these in occasionally, every practice. We're going to come all the way down to low lunge. Just take a moment here. Back to a little runner's lunge, lift the knee. Brilliant. All the way, we're going to push up to high lunge. Now your left knee is at the front of the mat. We're going to take the right hand. You can keep this as a high lunge. If you want to twist, you can. You don't have to. You just keep it. So the right hand's gone forwards towards the left knee. Keep your twist gentle if you're not keen on twists. You can then take that left hand to the right thigh, bring the body slightly forwards and just lift up. Everyone can do this. We're going to open warrior 2 to the other side. Now warrior 2, let's just think about our positioning. Let's push into that heel, and you might feel that this leg just opens slightly and externally rotates. Tuck. If you engage your core, lift your core in, your tailbone you just might feel it instead of like sticking the tailbone out. We're wanting to be neutral in this. So if you engage your core, your pelvic floor, we lift up. Reverse warrior, inhaling. And then we're going to push through that front leg, straightening the knee, but not locking, and come into Trikonasana. Haven't done Trikonasana for a while. So we're going to hover. So this is what we want to do, Anne, is what we're wanting to do is this top shoulder. We don't want the top shoulder to be forwards. And if you're wanting to take a breather from the triangle, do while I'm just going through this. So what we do, take your hand to the hip and open. Maren, you might want to see this as well. In fact, let's everybody have a reminder about this. So triangle, because I've not done it for a wee while and I can just see a few. So, and then we'll work the other side. So triangle is front foot forwards and you've got that kind of warrior back foot. What we're not doing is locking the knee back. We never do that. Push into the heel and that will activate the muscles to protect that knee. Now, right hand on the hip. As we sink, we might touch the mat, we might not. What we're not wanting to do is this shoulder and this chest forward. So we open, we peel the rib cage to the sky. So that puts the shoulder in a good position. Now, and I would take your hand up a little. That's it. Now that will be easier. And then extending the arm. So both Bobo and Anne, if you take your hand just slightly towards Corrie and slightly towards Maren. This is where I want to now do adjustments. That's it. There we are. Perfect. And then Anne, bit back a bit so you're like upright. That hand is just back a bit. That's it. Okay, we'll get there. Brilliant. Now just gently bring yourself up. Excellent. Okay. Any questions so far about that? Just relax a little bit. We'll go through the rest of the flow on the other side so you feel even. You're okay with triangle? I'm just looking that way, but you're all right. I'll have a peek in a minute. We will, I think we'll leave it for a wee bit, but we will be getting to the point where there I could leave a little, what I do is I leave a little card, and I haven't done this for years. I leave a little card or a stone or something, and you turn it over. If you don't want hands-on adjustment, you leave it up. If you do, and I can pop a mask on and I'll make sure I've got clean hands to come and help you. And I think we're maybe getting towards that. Well, as a class, you can have a think about it. So, because it's so, it's just a tiny little bit of a tweak or a hand on the back, and you just, then you realize, and I would never force anybody with an adjustment, but we'll have a kind of think about it, and maybe over the course of the next few weeks, you can say yay or nay. So, right, I've got to do the other side now. And now I don't know what I was doing. Here we go. Right, we're going to start in Malasana. So let's come down to watch your knees. I don't want any ricochet knees. So if your heels are up, that's absolutely fine. If they're not, that's fine too. So we're just going to take hands on the mat, or hands can come in. And what's quite nice is putting a little bit of pressure just the back of the arms and into the knees. You kind of work your squat a little bit. Now hands come down to the mat, and the left foot is going to come all the way to the left, to the right corner of the mat. Nearly got that wrong. Left hand behind you. We're going to lift the hips up and just stretch through the body. Okay. Don't worry. You're all going to lose at twister. Now we're going to bring the hands forwards. Use the right foot as a little standing. Take a hop and come into a little standing split. Look, it wouldn't be class if I didn't make you laugh a bit. Now we're going to come to high lunge. You can all do that. Come on. Into high lunge. Knee down all the way to low lunge. Excellent. We're going to push all the way back up with the legs. Push through the feet into a high lunge. You don't have to do this twist. You can keep the hands forwards. The left hand can come forwards, the right hand can come back if you want to do the twist. You can extend that further, right hand to the left thigh and left hand up, or you can keep the hands forwards. Wherever you are, open on the other side to warrior two. You see, not only are you doing yoga, but you're also doing brain gym tonight. I don't know whether that's the one. Reverse warrior, lifting up through the front body. And then we're going to come to triangles. So what we're going to do, we're going to push through that front leg. As we do, lift up the torso. So you've got length in the side body. And then left hand can always come to the hip as you just hover and keep on a plane. So if you were leaning against a wall, this wall would be behind you. Now, opening that kind of chest allows you to lift. That's lovely, Anne. Brilliant. Lovely, lovely line. Corey, bring your hand just slightly towards Anne. That's it. And your right hand slightly up. Beautiful lines. Jenny, make sure your arm's not going too far back, just towards Laura a wee bit. That's it. Brilliant. Now we're going to just frame the foot as we come forwards and either child's pose or take a little vinyasa. So you can do knees, chest and chin if you wish, or you can come to chaturanga, up dog, meeting in downward facing dog. Take a moment here in downward facing dog. All the way to the front of the mat. And then just gently rise all the way up to standing, hands to the heart. Brilliant. Excellent. I think we're going to do a little challenge. No, it's not even a challenge. Okay. There's a little flow with this after. So what I'm going to show you is some yoga-y stuff that everyone can do, but it's quite good for hip mobility. And if you've been sitting or standing or awkward postures, then it can just release the hips a bit and release a bit of tightness. So we're actually going to sit on the mat. So come down to the mat. Now, you might want to do this sideways in a minute, but I'll show you what we're going to do first. There's a couple of things that we can do. So I'm coming into almost like a little deer pose. So deer pose is with the knee a bit further back, okay? But I'm going to bring it forward. So I've got my knees kind of in line with each other, and they're at like a almost not quite 90 degrees, but anyway. Okay, now to start with, we're going to use our hands. And what we're going to do is we're going to lift our knees towards the center. And this is where you might want to orientate yourself on the mat in a minute to be comfy. So I'll show you what we're going to do. We're going to lift the knees and then just draw them to the other side. Okay, that's all we're going to do. So we lift, we just drop the knee and come to the other side. You can say hello. If you feel that you don't want to say hello to your neighbor, you can always swap sides. And then all the way back again. Okay, so that the knees, so your hips, were just really simple, so that they're back on the earth. So using the hands, just a bit like we do the supine twist. Okay, now the next challenge for you is to bring your hands to the heart and not use your hands. So you're just gently, well done. It's very simple, but it does release the hips really successfully. If you've been standing too much, Laura. Oh, all the way back. You're right there, Ingrid. Oh no. Good. And just take a moment back and forwards. How are you finding that? Weird. Yes. It really does make it does, it's very simple and it's a bit odd, but it does make a big difference. Okay. So I'm going to give you the next one. All right. So the next one is just Malasana. So we come into Malasana. So lots of squats today. So coming into Malasana, and all you're doing is you're taking the hand all the way up and then taking the pressure across to one side and opening the opposite wing. So it's just rocking back and forwards, just opening. So you're stretching here as well. Okay, so these are just simple things you can do. Brilliant for everybody. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you the next one. Now, if you're not a fan of Skandasana, I'm going to start off with the side lunge. So you can just, if the foot is out the way, then you can just go back and forward, stretching the leg. And it might be the hands come. You need a soft mat for this. The floor is really hard. Okay. And this is so an alternative if you're not keen on Skandasana. All right. Now, if you do like, and your knees are okay with Skandasana, your next little kind of one would be to walk back and forwards in Skandasana. Okay, so really gently, you can support yourself with your hands. Back and forwards. Now, if you ramp this up a level, guess where we're going next? No hands. Please be careful. And go back to that high lunge, the side lunge if you want to. Everyone come into a little wide fold. Toes tuck in. Draw yourself just a moment in wide fold. Bring the weight over the body and the feet. And then what we're going to do, like any fold, this is a forward fold. We're going to push into the feet, soften the knees, engage the core. And as we do, push into the feet to bring ourselves all the way up. And then heel toe, or you can step or hop into the center. Now give your legs a nice kind of shake out. Probably feel like you've just done quite a bit. And you might feel a little bit stretchy. So we're going to come to the top of the mat. So yoga can be extremely linear. It can be that we are constant back and forwards on the mat like a pendulum. But we don't have to be. So what I'm trying to encourage with the practice at the moment is that we're using off the mat, we're using round the mat, we're using to the side. So it's just a slightly different way. And then by doing that, we're working different muscles. Having said that, we're going to go to the pendulum. So, because we're going to go and do a little flow based on the hips in a minute. It's not really a flow, it's a game. It's a yoga game. Right, here we go. Feet into Tadasana. Allow yourself just a moment just to feel anchored. So feel that connection and see if you can find that center, find the balance. Inhale, upward salute. We're going to sink to chair, Utkatasana. So we bend at the knees, bring the hands gently forwards, push into the outside of the foot, push into the big toe and the heel. Sink a little deeper if you wish. Take a fold. Jump or step to plank.
Now we're going to hover the knee, right knee, just on the mat. And then we're going to place that right knee just in the center. And we're going to take and pivot on that knee so we come up into a little side plank variation. Lifting the outstretched leg, we're going to bring it behind us, taking the foot gently if you wish. You don't have to, you can just hover the leg. And then gently push the hip forwards if that's possible. If not, you can keep the foot on the mat. Doesn't matter, absolutely fine. Extend the leg all the way down the end of the mat again and lift up. So we're now bringing the right hand towards the left hand side. Sweep the hands behind you, interlace the fingers and open the chest. I lied, we're not doing the pendulum thing. And then all the way forwards, interlace the hands and just take a stretch. Hands return to the front of the mat. Left foot is anchored, right foot is going to lift up to tripod. Step or hop or bring that right foot. We're coming to the front of the mat. So however you come to the front of the mat into Uttanasana. Inhale, flat back. Exhale all the way down. We're going to hinge and we're going to lift all the way, sweeping upward salute. Sinking into Utkatasana, chair. Take a moment here. Bring the hands down, step or hop to plank. And then we're going to hover that left knee just in the center of the mat. So don't let the back hollow. So push away from the mat and you'll feel the shoulder blades really engage. Bring the knee down, pivot on the knee. So we come to that little side plank variation, lift the right arm in the air. As we lift the right foot, you can stay here and push through the foot, or you can see if you can catch the foot and push through the hip as you just gently open the body. Extend the leg all the way to the end of the mat, and the left hand's going to sweep all the way up while the right hand slides down that extended leg. Hands interlace at the back, draw the hands gently down, open the chest. Interlace at the front, maybe turn the hands away from you, tuck the chin to the chest. Draw the hands towards the front of the mat, anchor the right foot, lift the left all the way up into tripod. Left foot, that's it, brilliant. Bring yourself into downward facing dog. And bring the knees all the way down to the yoga mat. And either come to an extended child's pose, which is great for that space, or come to a normal child's pose and take a moment. And the extended child's pose is good for the hips too. Hadn't planned on doing a hippie blow. Inhaling and exhaling. And then gently draw yourself all the way back up. So the next little thing is just a bit of fun, okay? It's about, it is about the hips, but you could just sit and watch, totally fine. In fact, if you are feeling the love for a seated meditation, then get your cushion if you don't want to do this, and just take a moment and just sit and just allow yourself to breathe. And then if you're sitting and you're breathing, allow yourself to just bring that awareness to the breath so you can have some time out, okay? If you want to play and have just to go at this, then join me. And if you're sitting, try not to laugh. So your choice, you can sit and watch to start, or you can have a go with this. It is involving Malasana. So what we're going to do, we're going to come into Malasana. While you're sitting, you can just take a pause and a chill. Hands come to the heart, Malasana. Now, make sure you've got a little bit of space forwards on your mat. I'm too close, so there we are. What we're going to do, it's just fun. We're going to take the knees forwards and together. Okay? And bring the toes behind us. Now, you can use hands if you wish. I'm going to lift back and come to Dandasana. Yay! Don't hurt anything. Okay. Cross leg to Sukhasana. Kneeling. Back to kneeling, so you can move. Back to Malasana. Oh, I'm really impressed. I'm really impressed. Draw yourself up all the way. Come out with the feet. Just, you can come to goddess pose. The toes can come out. Sink into a little goddess temple pose. Left hand is going to come behind the left knee. Right hand's going to come up. Back to prayer. Right hand, left hand opens. Bring the hands back to prayer. Left hand now is going to come behind the waist, and we're going to tuck the toes just gently in, and we're going to fold hands to the floor. Walk the right hand that's on the floor now, cross to the left hand side. So you're just taking a little wide fold stretch. Swapping hands, right hand comes behind the back, left hand to the outside of the right foot. Vicky is not here tonight, and I have not yet got right and left confused. So, you know, it's on camera that I actually haven't done that yet. And then bring your hands all the way to center. And then very, very careful with the knees, sink back to Malasana. All the way back to Sukhasana, and we can join everybody in seated. Well done. So it might be a little bit of fun and might be a little bit of a challenge, but what it's doing is thinking about that hip mobility and not necessarily doing the same exercises. When we do a lot of the standing balances, you sometimes come away feeling quite like you've really worked the hips. So I'm hoping that you're going to come away feeling a little bit kind of looser. And poor Ingrid, you're okay. We will go into relaxation soon. It's fine. I'm going to make sure you have a proper relaxation tonight. Oh, bless. So before we do the relaxation though, we're going to bring the feet forwards and just, again, this is wherever you're comfy. So if you are not wanting to put any strain on your back, and this is not straining your back, but if I should turn that around. If your back is just feeling a bit tweaky, or if your front is not feeling so good either, then you can support this. You can have hands, you can even take hands behind the legs in both, and you can just allow yourself to come back, okay? And that will just gently exercise the muscles of the hip flexors, the muscles of the core will then, they will respond. So your abs are kind of starting to work. And then lifting back up gently brings you back up to seated. So that's where you are if you've got anything going on that you're not so keen to go into a fuller pose where you're going to put more strain on muscles. So if you want to come to a fuller pose, then you bring your feet. And if you feel that you can do that, that's fine. Now, if you want to, you can then go further and extend into full boat. So wherever you are, Just taking a moment. And then from full boat coming in and just maybe take a hug of the knees. Maybe take a stretch forward. And we're going to roll all the way onto our backs. Continuing. I have no idea why I've gone with this theme tonight. Continuing all the way down. I'm going to take you into happy baby. So we're going to bring ourselves. So happy baby, if you're not used to it, the knees slightly bent, and it literally is like a little baby kicking themselves in the air. You kind of take a pincer grip, and you take that pincer grip onto the inside of the kind of the toe. And then you can stretch the legs back and forwards, or you can just hover. It's one of these that watch you don't rock sideways and then collapse onto your neighbor. But again, another hippie flow. There we are. Kind of lengthening the tailbone as well if you want to. You can push the spine into the mat. And then we're going to just bring our knees all the way in and take our hands just at the back of our thighs and just bring our knees into the body. Taking a moment here. And you might want to circle. You might want to just gently circle the spine, just rolling the lower back on the floor. And then bring the feet as wide as the yoga mat and just bring the knees together into constructive rest pose. Take a moment here. Just allow the spine just to kind of, it forms its own shape. So we're not pushing the spine into the mat. We're just allowing that natural kind of curve of the spine. Taking a moment here with the breath. Just allowing you to observe your body, how you're feeling. You're perfectly fine staying here. If you really want to go into supine twist, you can do. So you can either just gently drop the knee side to side, although you've done a fair amount. So it might be that you're just wanting that stillness. It might be that you want to come into a fuller supine twist. Not for everyone. So if it's not for you with the twisting tonight, then just bring the knees together and just stay with the feet on the outside edge of the mat, just in that resting pose. And then wherever you are, we're going to slowly come into relaxation. So you've got some options here tonight. If you're not wanting to stay on your back for an extended period of time, then you can sit up. So if you've avoided kind of stuff tonight and you just want to take a moment, then I would suggest Sukhasana is quite a nice option. Seated, yes, Sukhasana is quite nice. Or you can come to traditional Shavasana. Whatever you do, I can just feel that it's just slightly just dropping in temperature. So as you have been working quite hard, so as you're slowing down, you might just want to pop a layer on. Perfect. So wherever you are, I'm going to take a moment here. I'm just going to switch the music just gently down. So just taking a moment, just feeling that connection with the yoga mat. So whether that's your spine or whether it's sit bones. Just allowing yourself to settle. Settling, allowing the body to feel
heavy to feel relaxed. The shoulders relaxing, the hips relaxing, the breath relaxing. Just gently with the inhale and exhale. And then just become aware of that connection and feel the body relax and soften. Maybe taking your awareness to your right hand, your right shoulder, your right leg, and your right heel. To the left hand, to the left shoulder, to the left leg, to the left heel. Softening the jaw. Gently softening the eyes and the forehead. Bringing the awareness back just to the rise and fall of the breath. Maybe an awareness of that air above you. Sometimes you start to feel the air, awareness of sounds. Bring that awareness back just to that breath. And gently bring the awareness back to the body. Taking one big deep inhale. And then push the exhale all the way to the soles of the feet. Bringing a slight movement to the hands. A slight movement to the toes. Maybe gently moving the head side to side. And then if you are in Sukhasana, taking a moment just to turn onto your side. And you'll be joining us really slowly and very gradually back into Sukhasana, to easy pose. So when you're ready, coming back up to seated. And then as we connect the hands together, just in Anjala Mudra, take a moment here. Taking an inhale and exhale. And thank you very much for joining class tonight. Take your time, don't rush. Take a moment and I'll just grab the